Manchester United could revive Carlos Baleba interest if Bruno Fernandes is sold, The Guardian. Manchester United's transfer business could yet take a dramatic twist in the closing stages of the summer window, with reports suggesting that the club may be forced to explore midfield reinforcements if Bruno Fernandes departs. The Guardian claims that Fernandes, United's influential captain and creative heartbeat, remains on the radar of several clubs in Saudi Arabia. Most notably, Al Ittihad are understood to be considering a move, with the Saudi Pro League continuing to aggressively target high-profile European stars. The Portugal international has already been courted once before, with Al Hilal tabling a huge £100 million offer earlier this year. At the time, both Fernandes and United resisted the temptation, opting to continue their relationship as he remained central to the project at Old Trafford. However, fresh uncertainty has emerged. Fernandes endured a frustrating afternoon in United's 1-1 draw at Fulham on Sunday, missing a penalty in a performance that highlighted some of the issues within Amorim's side. While neither United nor the player have received any official fresh approaches, the mere possibility of renewed Saudi interest has been enough to spark speculation that the captain's future could once again come under question as the transfer deadline looms. United's position remains clear for now. Fernandes is vital to Amorim's plans, both as a leader on the pitch and as a symbol of experience in a squad that is gradually being reshaped with younger talents. Yet in football, circumstances can change rapidly. An eye-watering offer, similar to or surpassing the £100 million proposal previously rejected, could present the Glazer family and the recruitment team with a difficult decision, especially at a time when financial fair play restrictions and budgetary constraints limit the club's ability to strengthen elsewhere. If Fernandes were to leave, United would not only lose their most consistent chance creator, but also a player who has carried much of the attacking burden since his arrival in 2020. His departure would leave a creative void in midfield, one that United might seek to fill by reviving their long-standing interest in Brighton's Carlos Baleba. Baleba, just 20 years old, is seen as one of the most promising young midfielders in the Premier League. Since joining Brighton from Lille in 2023, the Cameroonian has impressed with his blend of energy, physicality, ball progression, and ability to operate as a dynamic box-to-box midfielder. United scouts have followed his development closely, viewing him as a potential long-term solution to their midfield rebuilding project. However, Brighton have made it clear that prizing Baleba away would not come cheaply, with reports suggesting that they would demand a minimum of £100 million to even consider a sale. That fee, though high, could be manageable if Fernandes leaves for Saudi Arabia, giving United both funds and urgency to move for Baleba. The Brighton star fits Amorim's vision of a young, high-intensity side, but he is a different profile. While Baleba adds balance and energy, replacing Fernandes' creativity, leadership, and decisive moments would still require further reinforcements. For now, it's only speculation. Fernandes hasn't shown any desire to leave, and no bid has arrived, but Saudi clubs can act quickly. If an offer comes, United could face losing their captain and chasing Baleba as a replacement, a move that could shape both their season and long-term strategy. Thanks for watching. Stay for the next content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Kobbie Mainoo, open to Manchester United departure after being given cold shoulder by Ruben Amorim for Red Devils' first 2 Premier League games of the season. Kobbie Mainoo is reportedly open to leaving Manchester United this month after struggling for game time under Ruben Amorim. What happened? According to journalist David Ornstein, Mainoo is ready to leave United on loan this month, and he is yet to receive a new contract offer. The Red Devils are said to be open to a permanent exit, but he still believes he could have an Old Trafford future. The bigger picture. Mainoo is yet to play for United this season, and, with just 2 years left on his contract, the Red Devils risk losing him in the not-so-distant future. But as head coach Amorim pointed out, he has to fight for his spot in the team to get minutes. After the 1-1 draw with Fulham, the Portuguese said on the 20-year-old, "He's fighting for the position now with Bruno, and I changed 2 midfielders. I let Mason Mount play there because we want to score a goal, and when I changed, I felt the team need to return to one holding midfielder near Bruno. So he, Mainoo, just needs to fight for the position with Bruno, as it should be at Manchester United. Sometimes he's going to play with Bruno, but at the moment he's fighting in training with Bruno for the position. Did you know? Since Amorim arrived at United last November, England international Manu has struggled for regular game time. Despite being regarded as one of the brightest young midfield talents at the club, his opportunities have been limited. He managed just one start during their run to the Europa League final, 2 in the FA Cup, and 15 appearances in the Premier League across the whole season, most of which came as a substitute. This has raised concerns among supporters and pundits who expected him to play a bigger role after his impressive breakthrough under the previous manager. Manu's versatility, energy, and ability to link play in midfield are highly valued, but competition for places has been fierce, with Amorim preferring more experienced options in crucial fixtures. If his situation does not improve, questions may soon arise over his long-term future at Old Trafford, especially given past interest from rivals like Chelsea. For a player at his age and potential, consistent minutes are key to development, and the coming season could be decisive in shaping his career trajectory. What next? Alarm bells may start ringing for versatile midfielder Manu, who was previously a target of Chelsea, if he does not start against League Two side Grimsby Town on Wednesday in Round 2 of the Carabao Cup. For many fans and analysts, this fixture is seen as the perfect opportunity for Amorim to rotate his squad and hand valuable minutes to younger players who have struggled for consistent involvement. If Manu is overlooked even in a game of this magnitude, it could be a worrying sign that he is slipping further down the pecking order. A lack of playing time at such a crucial stage of his development may not only harm his confidence, but also raise doubts about whether he remains a central part of Amorim's long-term project at United. Clubs like Chelsea and other Premier League rivals are keeping a close eye on his situation, knowing that unsettled young talents can often be tempted by promises of regular first-team football elsewhere. For Manu, starting and impressing against Grimsby could help him stake a stronger claim for more involvement in the bigger competitions, while failure to do so may fuel speculation about a possible exit in future transfer windows. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Chelsea are now in advanced talks this week to sign a player who is reportedly desperate to join them as time runs out in the summer transfer window. Usually, we are used to seeing Fabrizio Romano deliver these kinds of updates every other day, but this time the news comes from a different outlet, adding a fresh twist to Chelsea's ever-changing transfer picture. With just 7 days left before the window slams shut, the Blues still have plenty of work to do behind the scenes. They know that player sales must happen first in order to free up space and balance the books before they can seriously push for the high-profile signings they have lined up. Tariq George has already drawn interest from several clubs, and there is a real possibility he could be on the move this week, either on loan or in a permanent deal. At the same time, French defender Axel Disasi has emerged as another potential outgoing. A number of Premier League clubs are circling, exploring creative ways to tempt Chelsea into a sale, and the Blues remain open to letting him leave if the right offer arrives. These departures are seen as crucial because Chelsea still have ambitious plans to add new faces before the deadline. One name at the very top of their list is Manchester United winger Alejandro Garnacho, a player who could transform their attacking options. Football London on Garnacho. According to Football London, Chelsea are now in advanced talks with United over Garnacho, and the Argentine is said to be eager for the move. The report claims that Garnacho has his heart firmly set on Stamford Bridge, despite interest from Bayern Munich, who recently approached his camp. The German champions were swiftly told that Garnacho is not interested in leaving for the Bundesliga and is instead waiting for Chelsea and United to come to an agreement. The winger, still only 20, is regarded as one of the most exciting young talents in the Premier League, and Chelsea believe he would be a major addition to their youthful project under Enzo Maresca. His pace, direct dribbling, and ability to change games in an instant are qualities the club feel they need as they push to climb back up the league table. The sticking point remains the fee. Manchester United know the value of their rising star and will not allow him to leave easily, especially to a domestic rival. Chelsea, however, are considering ways to structure a deal with add-ons and performance-related clauses that could satisfy both parties. For now, Garnacho is said to be waiting patiently, eager for progress as the days tick down. Should Chelsea manage to pull this transfer off, it would not only bolster their attack, but also send a clear message to their rivals that they are serious about recruiting the very best young talent available. More importantly, it would represent another bold step in their ongoing rebuild, one that could shape their squad for years to come. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Arne Slot shows sympathy for Howe, but Isaac pursuit is strictly business. Liverpool head coach puts exchanged messages over future of striker before Monday's visit to St. James Park. Arne Slot has said the sympathy he feels for Eddie Howe over the Alexander Isak affair is limited by the fact the Liverpool transfer target is not the only talented forward available to the Newcastle manager. Slot revealed Howe is the one Premier League manager he has texted during his Liverpool reign and believes the 47-year-old will eventually coach England. Friendly overtures, however, may not be reciprocated when Liverpool visits St. James Park on Monday evening. Isak will be conspicuous by his absence from Newcastle's first home game of the season, having in effect downed tools in an attempt to force a British record transfer to Liverpool. The Premier League champions have contributed to a trying summer for Newcastle, turning Isak's head while also signing his potential replacement, Hugo Ekitike. Their £110 million offer for the Sweden international remains on Newcastle's table. Slot expects an intense night at St. James, and, although Liverpool's pursuit of Isak is strictly business, he recognizes the effect a player going on strike will have had on his opposite number. In general, I have sympathy for Eddie Howe because he is a great human being, said the Dutchman. It's maybe not a coincidence that I've texted with him because I think he's a very nice, honest, and polite colleague. For the rest, I don't need to have sympathy for a manager that can still have the availability of Gordon, Murphy, Elanga, Barnes. You don't need to have sympathy for a manager who has so many good players in his squad. But, in general, I like him and I don't think it will be a surprise to anyone if eventually he is going to lead the national team of England. Slot and Howe exchanged messages after the Carabao Cup final in March, when Isak scored the decisive second goal to secure Newcastle's first domestic trophy for 70 years at Liverpool's expense. The only Premier League manager I've ever texted with was Eddie Howe, said Slot. In Holland, I texted with a few more. I don't think it is good for me to say what he texted me or what I texted him. They fully deserve to win the League Cup final. I didn't text him something different. If I see him on Monday, I will be the same as I was last season, and I expect nothing different from him as well. Relations may have been strained between Howe and key figures at Anfield by the transfer saga. Richard Hughes, the Liverpool sporting director who submitted the bid for Isak, has been close friends with Howe since they shared a flat during their playing days at Bournemouth. Howe has been friends with Michael Edwards, chief executive of football at Fenway Sports Group, Liverpool's owner, since they played for Portsmouth in the early 2000s. Edwards worked for Portsmouth at the time as a Prozone analyst. Slot acknowledged Howe's struggles, saying he respects him, but they're not close friends, though they've exchanged messages. He admitted Liverpool's bench lacked depth against Bournemouth, relying on Chiesa and 16-year-old Ngumaha after losing Diaz, Nunez, and Hoda. Slot argued they still have 6 players who can cover 3 attacking spots, including Wirtz and Frimpong, depending on tactics and opposition. Thanks for watching. Stay for the next content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tug of War Man City could launch last-ditch transfer for Mark Guéhi in blow to Liverpool if Pep Guardiola sells 2 defenders. Manchester City could suddenly beat Liverpool to Guéhi. Manchester City could enter the race for Mark Guéhi, but only if centre-backs Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake are sold this week. The Crystal Palace defender, who has just 1 year left on his contract, is already being targeted by Liverpool, Tottenham, and Barcelona. Palace chairman Steve Parish has already said Guéhi would be sold unless he was willing to sign a new contract at Selhurst. Sunsport has previously exclusively reported that Guéhi was willing to run down his contract if he didn't get his preferred move. And now the Daily Star is reporting that City are considering the 25-year-old as a potential £35 million signing, should they lose both Akanji and Ake from Pep Guardiola's squad. Galatasaray are keen on 30-year-old Akanji, while Everton, who have already secured a loan deal for Jack Grealish, are interested in Ake. Should both players leave before the transfer window closes next Monday, interest in Guéhi would intensify. That would put City on a collision course with Liverpool, who have long been leading the race for the Palace man. Guardiola is looking to trim his squad, and Guehi's pace and long-term potential make him an attractive option. The City boss was forced to leave both Ilkay Gundogan and Akanji out of his squad for their recent 2-0 loss to Tottenham. Guardiola explained his rotation policy, saying, "I had to leave Rodri and Phil Foden out last week because we have so many players. I must rotate. In the next games, others will be left out. It's not more serious than that." Guardiola also defended goalkeeper James Trafford, who made an error leading to the second Spurs goal. He said, "James played well in his first game last week, and I decided to stick with him." People often think early season decisions are the final ones, but it's about choosing for the moment. Today, I made that decision, and it is what it is. Guardiola acknowledged that his team missed some simple opportunities in the game, but praised their effort. The City boss said, "The running and commitment was extraordinary. We still have work to do after the win at Wolves. Everyone said everything was fine, but I said then we had more to improve, and it's the same now. We'll keep working, step by step, until things click. We've got a week to rest, and then it's Brighton before the international break." Manchester City have already strengthened their squad with the signings of Ryan Cherki from Lyon, adding creativity in attack, and Ryan Ait-Nouri from Wolves, bringing dynamism down the left. Yet, there remains a feeling at the Etihad that another central defender could be key. Marc Guehi's composure and leadership make him a perfect fit to strengthen Guardiola's defense. Thanks for watching. Stay for the next content. Don't forget to like and subscribe.